Tennessee and Georgia, lawmakers there are working to ban a substance called Kratom.
Ban Kratom products across Tennessee is now
considering banning a drug commonly found in convenience stores and gas stations. Kratom.
At a devastating cost.
We lost our Matthew a little over a year ago.
Karen Davenport's 27-year-old son Matthew died after taking Kratom, a plant-based product often marketed as a natural alternative to opioids, but mixed with his prescribed medication, it proved deadly.
It caused a lethal interaction, and he didn't wake up.
Representative Esther Helton Hayes sponsored a resolution urging Tennessee to regulate or even ban the substance. In a statement, the lawmaker said the dangers of Kratom were on display in Hamilton County last year when Matthew Davenport tragically passed away because of this harmful substance.
He had struggled with anxiety and depression, and he was very socially anxious, prescription medicines.
And he saw a therapist, along the way.
He tried to do some research with Dr. Google, and that's one thing that, Dr. Google says Kratom is a good,
So what was he trying to fix?
anxiety. He was trying to sleep.
Did
He couldn't sleep.
Did he think he was having heart attacks and stuff?
He would have panic attacks.
Only after they did the blood work and everything, and all they found was his prescription medications and the Kratom, which has a
Nitrogenine
yeah.
speciosa.
Yeah.
Well, he took it with Benadryl, and so we think that the interaction of, because Benadryl helped him sleep, and we think the Kratom and the Benadryl interacted.
Dear honorable members, my name is Karen Davenport, and I'm a wife and a nurse practitioner at Memorial Hospital. I'm also a grieving mother who once gave birth to 3 children. But on March the 18th of 2024, my world was shattered when my son Matthew, one of my twins, died suddenly in his sleep. The cause of death was a lethal interaction of doctor-prescribed medications and an unregulated substance sold over the counter called Kratom. Matthew's toxicology report confirmed that he passed from Kratom, nitrogenine toxicity. Kratom is marketed as a benign substance for focused pain and stress relief, yet it remains unregulated and readily available in gas stations, convenience stores, vape, and some coffee shops. Kratom binds to the opioid receptors like Oxycontin, morphine, and heroin. It has been linked to numerous deaths in the United States, with the death tolls rising exponentially. As of December 2, 2025, there are no FDA-approved Kratom drug products sold over the counter or legally marketed in the U.S., and the FDA continues to warn consumers. Mayo Clinic as well as Cleveland Clinic have identified Kratom to have no medical use nor benefit, and the Cleveland Clinic also reported babies born to mothers who have taken Kratom are now being treated with the same neonatal abstinence syndrome protocols as those of mothers that have used fentanyl, Oxycontin, and heroin. U.S. Customs agents detain imported Kratom at the border without physical inspection. Most of the drug enters the country illegally, camouflaged as potpourri or paint tint. Importing Kratom into the United States can lead to significant penalties, including criminal charges, fines up to $250,000 and imprisonment, particularly for commercial quantities and mislabeled shipments. The military realizes it causes impairment and has made it illegal for military personnel to use.
A mother who lost her son 2 years ago after he took Kratom. She's now working with those lawmakers in Tennessee and Georgia trying to make sure that substance does not take another life. Grace Kramer has the story.
I couldn't bring my Matthew back, but maybe I could make a difference in someone else's life and keep it from happening to the next person.
Karen Davenport's 27-year-old son Matthew died March 18, 2024 after ingesting Kratom.
Was touted as a natural supplement. He took it and he did not wake up.
It's a plant-derived substance that can feel similar to stimulants and opioids. It's commonly sold as a supplement, gummy, or energy shot and can be bought at some gas stations.
Anything that strong, you should be able to walk in and buy as much as you want to over the counter.
Tennessee Representative Esther Helton Haynes is working with Davenport and lawmakers to make the substance illegal. Right now, state law bans the synthetic form of Kratom. However, Helton Haynes says it hasn't put a stop to its misuse.
I just believe, the natural is almost a gateway to the synthetic, but that a lot of it's contaminated. Currently, the natural leaf, you can buy it if you're over 21.
The House bill Helton Haynes is proposing would make all forms of Kratom illegal. It would make possession a misdemeanor, but if a person was caught selling it, it would be charged as a felony.
Natural does not mean safe.
Mother of two just died from drinking too much water. 35-year-old Ashley Summers apparently overwhelmed her body while trying to hydrate in the summer heat.
He collapsed at home hours after football practice. Tyrese Oliver was rushed to the hospital where he stayed in critical condition until he was taken off life support and passed away. The Georgia teen's family says he drank 4 gallons of water and Gatorade before collapsing, and doctors are blaming overhydration for his death.
Water drinking contest. Jennifer Strange, a mother of 3, died of hyponatremia, a fatal dilution of the blood. Radio DJ Lucas, whose real name is Adam Cox, says he carried out the contest on management's orders.
How much longer do you think you could go, Jennifer?
As long as my stomach will continue to let me. I don't know, maybe a couple more.
Today I'm presenting House Bill 1649 to ban Kratom, metrogenine, and 7-hydroxymetrogenine in Tennessee. Last year we passed HJR 147 with bipartisan support to ban or regulate Kratom. Kratom contains compounds that activate opioid receptors in the brain and is often referred to as gas station heroin. It can be 13 times stronger than morphine. In small amounts, it acts as a stimulant, in large amounts as an analgesic or a sedative. The tragic consequences of the unregulated sale of this substance are demonstrated by the untimely death of Matthew Davenport, who died on March 18, 2024, from a lethal interaction between his doctor-prescribed medications and natural Kratom, metrogenine. This bill addresses the growing public health and safety concerns surrounding Kratom, often marketed as a natural supplement, but natural does not mean safe. The Food and Drug Administration maintains its firm stance against the use of Kratom, natural and synthetic, stating it is not safe and has no approved medical use and carries significant risk. The Center for Disease Control states that Kratom is an emerging public health threat for potential overdoses, addiction, and contamination. Often it has lead and salmonella. The Drug Enforcement Agency lists Kratom as a drug and chemical of concern with potential of abuse and safety risks.
Dear Honorable Members, my name is Karen Davenport. I'm a wife and a nurse practitioner at Memorial Hospital. I'm also a grieving mother who once gave birth to 3 children. But on March 18th of 2024, my husband and I received the call that every parent's worst nightmare. My son Matthew, one of our twins, died suddenly in his sleep. The cause of death was a lethal interaction of doctor-prescribed medications and an unregulated substance sold over the counter, natural leaf Kratom. Until that fateful day, I'd never heard of Kratom, even though I worked in the medical field. Matthew was a sweet, kind, and thoughtful young man who struggled with anxiety for much of his life, and tragically his life was cut short when Kratom purchased his casualties breath mints at a nearby convenience store, played a fateful role in his death. Matthew's toxicology report confirmed that it was pure leaf natural Kratom. He believed the lie, that natural was safe.
House Bill 1649 to ban Kratom in all forms in Tennessee. Last year we passed HJR 147 with bipartisan support to ban or regulate Kratom. Kratom is a tropical tree native to Southeast Asia. In the United States, it's sold as fresh leaves, dried powder, capsules, tablets, extracts, and concentrated shots. Kratom contains compounds that activate opioid receptors in the brain, retrogenine and 7-hydroxyretrogenine, and is often referred to as gas station heroin. It can be 13 times stronger than morphine. At low doses, it has stimulant-like effects. At higher doses, it has sedative, opioid-like effects. This bill addresses the growing public health and safety concerns surrounding Kratom, often marketed as a natural supplement, but natural does not mean safe. The FDA maintains firm stance against the use of Kratom, natural and synthetic, stating it is not safe and has no approved medical use and carries significant risk. The Center for Disease Control states that Kratom is an emerging health threat for potential overdoses, addiction, and contamination. The Drug Enforcement Agency lists Kratom as a drug and chemical of concern with potential of abuse and safety risk.
Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm Karen Davenport. I'm a nurse practitioner, a mother, and a grandmother, and I'm here today because my 27-year-old son, Matthew Davenport, died unexpectedly 2 years ago today. On this very day at 5:30 in the morning, we got the call that no parent wants to receive. Matthew was one of my twins. He was kind and thoughtful, and a young man who struggled with anxiety and depression. He was working hard to rebuild his life after overcoming alcohol addiction. He was living in a sober home and actively continuing with his recovery. As a nurse practitioner, I believe that I understood the risks my sons might face, but I never heard of Kratom until the day we lost him. Like many families, we did not realize the risk because Kratom is often marketed and sold as a safe, natural product. Matthew was found unresponsive in his bed, and despite attempts to revive him, he could not be saved. The Hamilton County Medical Examiner determined that Matthew died from intoxication involving prescription diphenhydramine, duloxetine, Cymbalta, buspirone, and a dietary supplement called mitragynine. The manner of death was ruled as an accident. The mitragynine we found in Matt's car was sent to the University of Florida and analyzed by Dr. Christopher McCurdy, finding it to be purely Kratom. The primary active compound found in Kratom. It was one of the substances involved in the fatal intoxication. Kratom is marketed, of course, as a natural supplement and sold openly in convenience stores across our communities. Yet its primary compounds have the same effect on the opioid receptors in the brain and can act dangerously with other medications. Matthew was a young man in recovery who was trying to rebuild his future. It's such a paradox that Kratom is illegal to import into the United States, yet the substance is sold openly in convenience stores on every corner and in vape shops. It became part of the combination of drugs that ended my son's life. Nothing this committee does today will bring my son Matthew back, but what you do here today may determine whether another Tennessee family has to experience the same loss. Thank you for listening.
My name is Matthew Bruin. I'm a psychotherapist and an addiction specialist, PhD. I'm also the principal and CEO of Apex Recovery. Apex Recovery is a proud member of Tennessee. We serve men and women across the state who have issues with mental health as well as substance use disorder, which is why I'm here today, because this issue is an increasing one within our census and something that I'm very passionate about. I'm in a unique experience because you all have adopted me into your fine state. I've been here for 5 years, and I absolutely love Tennessee. It's the best place I've ever lived. I hail from Colorado originally and then came by Southern California for 23 years. I like to think at that time I was in exile. What I can tell you is both of my previous 2 states had similar things in common, and that's the legalization of marijuana and cannabis. I have lived my life through situations like we find ourselves today here in the state of Tennessee. What starts as a relatively benign, small item quickly grows and expands until there are devastating issues that go across the state, and I would like to not see that repeat here in the state of Tennessee. You'll hear some arguments today, 2 of them being that somehow Kratom leaf differs from 7-OH. I want to assure everyone that the distillation process and the synthesization process is no different from cocaine to crack or from hashish to cannabis. Cannabis at one point had 3 to 5% THC content. Today there are places in this country that have legalized 90 to 95% amounts. We're seeing that same thing with Kratom. Finally, I want to touch base just from a personal level. I want to tell you 2 quick patient stories. One about a man who lost his wife and family who was ingesting 5 big gulp glasses of, yes, loose leaf Kratom daily. It is extremely addictive. And finally, I'm joined in the back row by my beautiful wife and daughter. My daughter had a individual who actually went to her school for a short period of time and happened to find his way into my rehab center just several weeks ago. He told me and asked me to tell you guys that as an individual who started smoking crack cocaine at age 13 years old, the most high he has ever been is on Kratom. That young man has done every drug in the arsenal, and that was his comment. So I ask you all today, would you all want your sons and daughters to use this legally? Thank you for your time.